In continuation of the Brahmana's refusal to honor the food because of Sita Devi's kidnapping. So he says, Sita Devi has been kidnapped, so I'm very sorrowful, I don't want to eat my food. So this is the thing we get from Ramayana. So here, text number 186, Prabhu kahe vipra kanhe ka kara Ubhavasa kene te dukha kene karaha atasa. While Brahmana was fasting, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, why are you fasting? Why are you so unhappy? Why are you so worried? Vipragahe jivane mora nahi priyojana anki jale praveshya chadipa jivana. The Brahmana replied, I have no reason to live. I shall give up my life by entering into either fire or water. So this is the attitude of the Brahmana at that time. So Jaganmata, Mahalakshmi, Sita, Thakurani, Rakashe, Parsila, Tandreya, Kane, Suni. My dear sir, Mother Sita is Mother of Universe and the Supreme Goddess of Fortune. He has been touched by the demon Ravana, and I am troubled upon hearing the news. So a person of material vision, naturally all these things really bothers. But here he says that when Ravana kidnapped Sita, Mother Sita, this is a very sadful moment. So how can I tolerate this sort of happening? So he says that I will not eat my food. Ye sarira daribare kabuna ye dukhi jwale deha prana nahi. Sir, due to my unhappiness, I cannot continue living. Although my body is burning, my life is not living. So I have gone to that extent of committing suicide. So although suicide is not recommended in Sanatana Dharma, sometimes even the great devotees are, even Sanatana Goswami, it happens to Sanatana Goswami also, if you see further down. So when people are having either physical problem or, otherwise they want to give up their body because they are not able to take it anymore. So here he says that this sort of sadness is crept into the Brahmana. So this is because of the lack of knowledge of the Shastras. Because when something is, Prabhupada says that materialism ends, spiritualism starts. So when you cannot see the Jivatma, what to speak of Mahalishmi is the embodiment of all the virtues put together. Can you hold on to it? I used to keep the khadra by the side, and today I forgot. Very Prabhupada. So Prabhupada says that when the materialism and spiritualism starts, so every because you can see the sarira, but you cannot see the jivatma. It's simple logic. Now, though people still believe that they are the sarira, how to convince people, about Rasalila dance and all those things which are the interaction between Jivatma and the Paramatma. So it is very difficult to make them understand. So especially in the material world, like India now, present situation, things are becoming bad to us because the moral education has been totally taken away in Tamil Nadu, where they give about Dravidian culture, which has got no, it's a total nonsense of ideas. When people are not even exposed to the basics in spiritualism, when you grow up to be 16 or something, to take to devotional service become difficult. While the younger years, when we start the class, moral science and all from the 6th standard, we used to be given the knowledge till the age of the 16, till we pass our SSC or SSLC, like that. So we have some basic foundation in those days. The most important thing is paying obeisance to my parents before leaving for the school or college, or when I leave for work. So this is the habit we used to do it in those days. Where Dandavat Pranam makes your ahankara go away, and this gives you a lot of virtue. But today's children, they say hi and bye. They don't know how to do pranam also. With this sort of materialistic afflictions, and when they consider themselves the body, not the Atman, so things have become more difficult to convince people about all these theories and theology. So here the Brahmana says that how can somebody even touches Sita, he said, I can't bear that sort of attitude. So, but this is all, so that's what Prabhupada says in Bhagavad Gita, Avjananti Mahamuda, Manisham Tanum Ashram, Parambhavam Ajananto, Maha Bhuta Maheshwaram. So, very important is only for this sort of things is revealed to the devotees. For a non-devotee, for materialism and spiritualism, has got no difference. That's why when Krishna appeared in this material world, he appeared with the forehand. When Devaki said, if Kamsa comes to know, this is going to be more dangerous. So hide your two arms and show your two-handed form, Krishna. So Krishna agreed at the time, but he said this is till such time where Kamsa is getting killed. When Kamsa got killed, according to Vedanta Desikan, one of the leading pioneers in Vaishnava philosophy, he said that he again manifested four hands. Till the age of 125, according to him, he is quoting a sloka where he was moving around with four arms only. When he is moving with four arms, so everybody knows that he is a Supreme Personality of Godhead, transcendental person. But still, some of the people like Bharatagraja Krishna and all cannot make out that it is Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. To that extent, people are ignorant, even seeing the 400 form of Narayana. So that's why here, the Brahmana who is like, there is a character also in Kulaseka Radvar, that. When Ravana was invading, when the fight was going on, Kulaseka Radvar wanted to take the army from Rameswaram across the sea to fight with Ravana. But he was so morose that Rama has got left alone to defend himself. So to that extent, these people are involved with the character. So the Brahmana is also like that. When we listen to Ramayana, when Ravana kidnaps Sita Devi, they couldn't even digest the fact that it is the Maya Sita who was kidnapped. So Mahaprabhu has to convince this Brahmana in that manner. So here he says, duty is my happiness, I cannot continue living, although my body is burning and my life is not leaving. So to that extent, the Brahmana was morose. He said, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, please do not think this way any longer. You are learned Pandita, why don't you consider the case? So he's telling, because since although he is a learned Pandita, even he is not very much aware that the transcendental body cannot be seen by a material eye. So that's why when we teach yoga in the yoga class, many of the things are in Adhishta platform, not Drishta, like pranayama and all. You do pranayama, Yoga Darshana, slogan number 253 says, when you do yoga, when you control your breath, you control your mind. This is a special privilege given by the Lord through Patanjali Muni, avatar of Lord Lakshmana. So these are all things which are not read by many people, because Yoga Darshana, we will go through those Vedas and all. So Swamiji is well versed in all these slokas, Ramdev Baba. So he has quoted from the Yoga Darshana, sloka number 2 3, that by controlling the breathing air from 2 seconds to 2.5 seconds or 3 seconds, like yogis can control for 2 minutes up to. So your mind is also getting controlled. These are all the facilities Lord has given us naturally. Like, when you start sneezing, the dust goes inside a particular part, the foreign particle has entered your body. The histamine, the chemicals secretes and it throws out the dust particle. Likewise, when you vomit, the foreign body has gone inside. When you have loose motion, foreign body has gone inside. So likewise, Lord has also self-healing mechanism he has given to the human being. Likewise, controlling the mind also, Lord gives through Patanjali Muni, one of the incarnation of a saint. So he tells that by controlling the mind, you can controlling the breathing air, you can control the mind also. That's why the turtle and crocodile and elephant, they live for longer years because their breathing is very, very slow. Not like the dogs or cats, we breathe heavily. So man's life is also determined by the number of breaths he takes in his life. So in yoga, we teach the controlled breathing. So we extend the breathing from 21,600 a day to 17,000, around 17,000 per day by 2.5 seconds to 3 seconds of controlled breathing. So many people feel that coming to yoga, their mind is at peace at least. They may not be happy, but their mind is at peace because controlling the mind, you can control your emotions, controlling your anger, controlling so many things through the mind. So it is something adrishta. Again, coming to the platform, adrishta. So through adrishta, you can even cure the body. Right? Brahmaji creates the living entity in 64 dimensions, they say. Now we know 3D or 4D or 5D, I don't know. So that's why even the best of the scanning machine, millions slide scanner, they are not able to pinpoint the problems of a person. Like my wife, when she had a cancer, they couldn't locate the primary cancer. We have to take PET scan twice, which reveals the function of 29 parts of the body. Still, they couldn't make out where the cancer was hiding. So it's so much technological advancement. We are not able to decipher so many diseases of the earth. So what to speak of Lord's appearance as Krishna even with 400, many people could not recognize him as God. Well, maybe he is having a special growth or something like that. To the extent people started considering Lord Krishna to be an ordinary person. So no wonder this Brahmana was convinced that Mother Sita was kidnapped by, real Sita was kidnapped by Ravana. So he became very sad. Here it says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, Sita Devi, the dearmost wife of Supreme Lord Ramachandra, certainly has a spiritual form full of bliss. No one can see her with material eyes, and no materialistic material has such power. So even see the Vishwarupa, that's where I was wondering. Once Mahavishnu Maharaj told me in Qatar that Brahmaji creates living entity in 60. Many people are asking for evidence, 64 dimensions. When the Prabhupada disciple says something, I will always be, convinced that they are all talking on scriptures only. They never concord. So, so he said that Brahmaji creates. So at that time I didn't question him from which text he has taken. They must have taken from the lectures of Srila Prabhupada, some lectures. But here one Sri Vaishnava cleared the doubt for me. When Arjuna was given Divya Sakshishu, you could see the thousands of, not thousand dimensions, thousands of dimensions of Virat Rupa and different happenings which we cannot see with the normal eye. So he has given a Divya Sakshishu. That's why he has said, no materialistic has the power to see the things in the material eye. Material eye has got a limitation. Even for a person who is old, he cannot read without the glasses. Whereas the eagle can see the prey miles away, you can see dogs can smell. So many advantages. The animal has got better senses than the human being. So what to speak of with these material eyes, we can see something which is spiritual. That's why one One Srishashram Prabhu, he was an army major. He told once that he said Krishna, he said we can see Krishna through our Divya Sakshisham. He said one person in the audience said, all Haitians, so they said that, can you show? Then he said that you need a Premanjana Jyosa Bhakti Vilasana. He quoted that verse from Brahma Samhita and said, that sort of eyes you should have to see the Lord. He said, do you have, boldly he said, yes, I have. But can you show me? No, he said, you have to get qualified to see the Lord in that posture. So he said that he challenged, then Srishta Shumbru said, with your foot rule, you can see only the height of a person, not the weight of the person. We do the litmus test for acidity and all those things. For everything, there's a parameter or a scale. So likewise, if you want to see Krishna, you have to have a divine eye, which many of the people, most of the people lack. So with sort of attitude, we try to visualize anything spiritual. It is not possible so very easily to see spiritual things happening. We can feel the spiritual thing happening, but to see the spiritual things, we have to have a divine eye. Here, that's why he said that no one can see her with material eyes, and what materialistic has got such, no material has got such power. To say nothing touching Mother Sita, a person which is material senses cannot even see her. When Ravana kidnapped her, he kidnapped only the material, her material illusory form. So Lord can take so many forms, so also Mother Sita. So Mahaprabhu was trying to convince him, see, this is not possible to, even to see, Anjaneya has to struggle to locate Sita when she was in Lanka, So finally he says that what I have done is trying to search for Sita with my own effort. Then he was intensely praying to Mother Sita. Luckily, he had a vision of Sita while she was being kidnapped by Ravana. So, because of the slight glance of the Lord for the Sugriva and Anjaneya and this one, through Anjaneya had the blessings of Mother Sita. That's why when we visit Tirupati, we go to Alamela Mugapuram first. That's my father's instruction. Never go to Tirupati by not visiting Alamela Mugapuram first. So we used to have the darshan of the Tayar, then only we go up the hill. So this is our thing. One time we missed out Alamela Mugapuram, we went to Tirupati. While coming back, and we couldn't have, the temple was closed, Alamela Mugapuram, so we have to, I'm talking about 1965. We were stuck in a forest. Those times, between Tirupati and Chennai, the route was very difficult route, and there are forests in between the route. So our car got stuck in the middle of the forest. So there was so dead silence, and finally we got through to Chennai, after fixing the problem. So then he said that from now on, we are not going to Tirupati without visiting the Tayar. So that's why, even if you don't have a darshan of Balaji, when you go up because of the rush, you pray to the Gopura. Gopura is the representation of Lord himself. So don't feel, but we have to always visit the Lakshmi Devi's Sanadi in Alamela Mugapuram. So that is the instruction. So because of the blessings of Mother Sita, Hanumanji could locate Mother Sita. So this is the thing, that's why he said, when Ravana kidnapped her, he kidnapped only the material illusory form. So because of the power of Goddess, she can take any form at any point of time. She can also leave the present form of Sita Devi and enter into a material form. This is what she did before Ravana kidnapped her. So he says, as soon as Ravana arrived before Sita, she disappeared. Then just to cheat Ravana, she went on an illusory material form. So clearly it is mentioned that Mother Sita was not in the spiritual form. She was in the, how the Brahmana could see. That's why Kulasekara, because of the madness of bhakti, these are all something which an ordinary person cannot understand. Because of the madness of bhakti, so they merge into the character. That is why Very important that, when you hear Ramayana or Mahabharata or Srimad Bhagavatam, I always tell people, your body is here, but your mind is somewhere. Even in yoga class, I said, the body is here, your mind is somewhere, going to America, Africa, not down. You are not going to get any benefit through yoga. Even yoga needs a lot of concentration. Before you control your mind, you need a lot of concentration. It's a cyclic effect. By concentration, you develop a mind control. By controlling the mind, it's, your concentration becomes better. So that's why it takes a long time for a yogi to get into the initial step of yoga platform. That is, it takes, Swamiji said, 9 months, at least 2 lakh pranayama you have to execute before having even the slightest glance of benefit of yoga. So that is why it is very important that we have to have a practice of, seeing all these things. So Mother Sita, transcendental and spiritual are two different platforms. With a materialistic eye, we view something, we want everything to be proved. Scientifically, it is not going to be, it is not going to happen. Even scientists, they imagine minus 273 degrees, minus 273 degrees doesn't exist in the earth, and perfect vacuum doesn't happen. But assuming these two things, scientists prove so many things. But when it comes to spiritualism, everybody wants proof. He says where it is written, it is illusory energy of Mother Sita. And although the quotation from elevated Vaishnavas like Vedanta Desika and Ramanujacharya, that Ravana kidnapped only mother, the illusory energy of Mother Sita. That's why it is said he has kidnapped only the material form. Text number 190%. Spiritual substance is never within the jurisdiction of the material conception. Is always Vedic to the Vedas and the Puranas. So it is clearly mentioned here in the translation that spiritual substance is never within the jurisdiction of material conception. It is always Vedic to the Vedas and Puranas. So when the Vedas and Puranas gives a total, this is a dictum where it says materialism, spiritualism cannot be explained through material logic. Material has got a limitation because whatever we do is not Purna, when some Lord creates everything, it's Purna. So that's why when you invent a mobile or something, the latest mobile like iPhone, which is the 16th model or something, all those things are there. But if man is perfect, we should have manufactured something which is without defect right from the first model. But it has reached the level of 16, where every time there is an improvement in the model. That means whatever previous model is there is a defect in that model. That's why we have to improvise on the previous one to create another model. But Lord's creation is not like that. He is Purna in every step. Even if you take from 1 liter of water, half a liter, it is going to be full. If you fill up with 1 liter of water, it is going to be only 1 liter. So Lord is Purna by himself. So for him, he doesn't need an external force to execute. But for a materialistic person, everything has a limitation. That's why here it is said that, Vedas and Puranas are ultimate, and to see a spiritual form, you have to have a special sort of vision. Here, text number and 194. So they are quoting from Katha Upanishad and Srimad Bhagavatam quoted above. Na sandeshe distadi rupamasya na sakshusha pashyati kaschanainam hridamanisa vanara so yat edat vidur amrtaste bhavanti naiva vachana manasa praptum sakto na sakshusha. And Srimad Bhagavatam also 10.84 per 1 thing. Yasatma buddhihi punepa trai dukke swadi kalatrasidishu bhauma iya dihi tattirtha buddhi salilena tarhi shich janasya abhinyaneshu sayeva go taraha. A human being who identifies his body made of 3 elements with his self, and who considers the byproducts of the body to be his kinsman, who considers his land of birth worshipable, say who goes to a place of pilgrimage simply to take bath rather than to meet men of transcendental knowledge. There is to be considered like an ass or a cow. So this is read so many times in Bharatagraja also. So it's the points are given here clearly. Human being who identifies his body made out of three elements. So what are the three elements? Kapha, Pitta, and Vayu, and then of course Panchabhut and all those things. This is Sarira is not the Jiva Atma is the thing and not the Sarira. Who considers the byproducts of his body to be a kinsman. So considering our relatives, our brothers, sisters, Renal is also the Lord, right up. You consider the land of birth worshipable. That's why motherland people say, but I don't know how far this is holds good in spiritualism. And who goes to a place of pilgrimage simply to take bath rather than to meet men of transcendental knowledge. So normally we go to Vrindavan, we go to Mayapur, we try to associate with the senior devotees. This sort of facility is not in other sampradayas. The guru may be very busy person to meet a guru itself, the tough job in other sampradayas. But ISKCON one advantage is you cannot have an association of Guru Maharaj or even senior Vaishnavas. You can also have a satsanga of junior Vaishnavas in the Dham and you get more knowledge from those people. That is very important than just taking a bath in the Ganges. Ganges will purify you definitely inside out. That is no problem. But that is the be all and all not it. Because we have to, very important of visiting the pilgrimage is also to get a spiritual guidance from our senior devotees. So that is what this translation says. There are some Vedic statements about spiritual substance. Spiritual substance cannot be seen by the unintelligent because they do not have the eyes of their mentality to see their spiritual soul. So that's why we have quoted the thing from Bharatagraja. So Bharatagraja clearly says, so Krishna clearly says for a Muda to see me is just impossible. Avjananti Ramuda. The sloka clearly says that, only when Krishna wants to reveal himself, we can see Krishna's real spiritual form. So without his permission also, we cannot see. So what to speak of people who are non-devotees here. Consequently, they think that there is no such thing as spirit. But the followers of Vedic injunction take the formation from the Vedic statement, such as verses from Katha Upanishad and Srimad Bhagavatam. So we got an authoritative quotation from here that things cannot be. You cannot execute every step of your way through materialism. Because spiritualism is also a guiding force in our life. And unless there is a spiritual guidance, because material guidance you can take care of the body nicely, but a spiritual guidance is required for advancement of bhakti. So which is the very essence of our existence. Our aim is to go back to Godhead, but the Sarira is a vehicle to go back. That is also important, but doesn't mean that is the only way through which you can go back to Godhead. So that's why all these guidance are given in both Katha Upanishad and Srimad Bhagavatam. So here text number 199 says the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then assured the Brahmana, have faith in my words and do not burden your mind any longer with this misconception. This is the process of spiritual understanding. Achintya kalau ye bhavana tam tarkena yojayet. We should not try to understand things beyond our material conception of arguments and by counter arguments. Mahajano vena yena gataha sa pantaha. We have to follow the footsteps of the great authorities coming down from the Parampara system. If we approach a bona fide Acharya and keep the faith in his words, spiritual realization will be easy. So the instructions are very, very clear here. By mental speculation, we try to understand the scriptures. There will be always a taboo. Beyond a step, we cannot go further. So that is why we need a guidance, a spiritual master and Acharya to make sure that we understand the Vedas to the, at least on the surface level, the surface level understanding of Vedas itself will be a great depth in knowledge, Because if you fish on the surface of the ocean, you can only fish. But if you delve deep into the sea, you get pearls and all. So Vedas are like that. Unless you, Guru Maharaj used to say, unless you delve deep into the sea, you will not be able to get the pearls. So spiritualism is something which has to have a greater exposure. When we have a greater exposure through the acharyas and all the Guru Parampara teaching, then we will be able to understand the difference between the materialism and spiritualism. Text number 195 is, although the Brahmana was fasting, he had a faith in the words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and accepted food. In this way, his life was saved. So that is why Mahaprabhu was so pure. So he could convince anybody, to accept his views. Suppose if I try to convince somebody that come to the temple, God is there. Now, to what extent he is going to believe me? Because he says that you are going and your economic condition is not very good. No, now only I got some Lakshmi, but before that, it's a very hand-to-mouth living life. So they used to say that when you are doing in Krishna consciousness, Krishna is not taking care of you properly. How will he take care of me in the first place? So it's a difficult question to answer materially, spiritually. Because they view only everything in the spiritual, materialistic way. Like my brothers and sisters, they're all very highly affluent people. So when they see and when they compare me with them, they think that I'm materially not so well off. So being a Krishna conscious person, and that one thing they agree on the bottom line is he seems to be always happy and peaceful. Whereas we are all having so much money, we are so turbulent. Why is it? I'll always tell them, because you have not added Krishna into your life. But with only materialism, how long always quote from Bharatagraja to Palanthesham, all those things, still they feel that money will bring in everything. Because they have enough money, but why they are not happy? Because there is no spiritualism in them. Although they born in a Sri Vaishnava family with a high culture, like my parents are very, very practicing Vaishnava. But unfortunately, my father, had he put me in Gurukula, I would have been happy at the time, but he felt that sending me to Gurukula is not a very highly remunerative job. So he sent me to school and college, and I educate myself and get a bank job and all. The very purpose of life is defeated because normally the parents are very much interested in the welfare of the children. That's why Caitanya and Maitreyi, when Yajnavalkar was asked, Maitreyi, Caitanya said, okay, give me your wealth, I will go away. But Maitreyi said, I want something you have, which is cherished much more than this wealth. Then Maitreyi was given the knowledge of spiritualism. But Caitanya was satisfied with the material wealth. So this is a material, if you yourself is not spiritually inclined, how can you teach the children about spiritual education? That's why we have to equip ourselves first. No, unless you equip yourself spiritually, at least you need not have ultimate knowledge in spiritualism. It is not possible actually. Nobody can be perfect in any sort of field. Because my starting of Krishna consciousness started when I was 45, which was quite late, in fact. So I could learn whatever I could learn in these 30 years or something, which is not the full of Vedas. It is a little essence of Vedas. So with that thing only, I have a limited knowledge of the Vedas. For every argument put down by the children, we will not be able to answer them because I am not fully knowledgeable to answer. Sometimes I take them to my higher authorities, they ask a question. So sometimes we should accept that, the children like that sort of openness. When you accept, I don't have an answer, I will get back to my Shiksha Guru, try to get an answer for your question. So when the children are given the proper knowledge, like, Qatar, one advantage is Matajis and Prabhus come together, children come together. But in India, I have not seen in 15 years, a couple of children also in our cell. Mostly people are coming above 30, 40 like that. And no children come to our class. They have a special session, of course. But to sit in a general class is difficult for children. Like, when Dharmalaya started, so many children used to come and attentively listen to the class. That was a very wonderful thing because There's so many, no other attraction for the children, But here, children are exposed to that extent, they are not interested much in spiritualism because our way of, many times we put only khichdi for the morning breakfast, lunch, and this one, when they have so much choice outside the ISKCON movement where they get a very nice, delicious food, that taste for prasadam is not there. That's why I used to tell people it is very important to learn a proper and variety of cooking for the children, because to impress the children, you should know how to make pizza or tofu or some other preparations, because children are not just satisfied with the sambar, rasam and all those things. They need something extra. So food has to be, prasadam has to be prepared in such a way the children will like. Then you need not feed them always noodles or macaroni. Like if you go to Govindas in most of the ISKCON temple, they make variety of food, and children want to, instead of eating prasadam, they want to eat only in Govindas. So it's okay, although it is not offered food mostly, because the first dosa they offer, the second, third dosa they don't offer. But still, to satisfy the tongue of the children, we take them. At least they stay in Krishna consciousness, it is enough for us. So that is why the devotees got to engage the children in such a way, we have to give a mixture of materialism and spiritualism to stay in Krishna consciousness. Well, when I go to Mayapur or Vrindavan, 2 days I give them time for visiting the zoos or some other sightseeing facilities. Then I take them to Vrindavan or Mayapur, because children also to be given their due. When we were children, we were different. When we are grown up, we are different. So, not to impose things on children, This is the way I am practicing. Okay, you are now 30 or 40 maybe. The children are in the prime age. So, they want to have some sort of entertainment for that age. We should always consider that. Then they will stay, because both the things are required for the children. When you start growing after the age of 40, then okay, then the things change. So till that time, they need a mixture of both the world. So this is very important. So that's why he says, children are not brought up in the spiritual world, the spiritualism, because parents themselves don't give the spiritualism to children, because they think that they will become sannyasis. Like Guru Maharaj once narrated a story when a very rich man's son was coming to Juhu temple. People thought that he is going to take sannyas. The parents are not knowing that he is just a visiting devotee. At one point of time, because of the money influence, they approached the Juhu temple, and they said that we should not allow my son to visit the temple regularly, then I will sue you. So they have to keep, because ISKCON is also brainwashing machine, so to keep these people off, they got influential in the press also. So Guru Maharaj said this story. So what they did was, the son was kept away from the temple. They got him married, and after a couple of years, that person also committed suicide. Because their parents then came to the temple and said, had we allowed them even to take sannyas, that we could have seen him alive. Now my son is gone. And I was under the impression that every devotee who comes into that temple will become a sannyasi. That's why Prabhupada's magic is, when he brought 100 people in the first visit to India, and the press reporters asked, what is the magic Prabhupada you had done? Then he said, 100 people, they shaven head, Shika and Vaishnava Dhuti. He said, this is my magic. So to that extent, Prabhupada could impress people, but what about our society today? Because it is topsy-turvy, where highly materialism is prevalent. So even if you read Bhagavatam, there are people interested in Dharma, Artha, Kama. Moksha, nobody is interested. Even if you see Srimad Bhagavatam, but the Srimad Bhagavatam is current, although written 5,000 years back. It is true, Moksha means people are afraid. When I say that if the Vaikuntha vehicle comes now, in the middle of the yoga class, I'll walk and leave everything, leave all the belonging, and go get into the Vimana. When I ask, what about you people? No, we got family responsibility. We cannot do that. So to that extent, they are attached to materialism. So because of our engagement in Krishna consciousness over a period of time, we have the attitude, we know that this material world is miserable. Sooner or later, we have to go. That's why Parikshit Maharaj says, who knows, after 7 days, even if I come out of the Taksha's bite and you are going to say me, what is the guarantee that I am going to go to spiritual world after that? So now I got a 7 days assurance that I'll go to the spiritual world. So don't bring me to life after the snake bite. This is what Parikshit Maharaj's prayer was there. When we read all these prayers to children, over and over again, a stage will come. They will also, at the age of 30 or something, they will start thinking on this line. Unless you give some spiritualism, insight into spiritualism, no, they are not going to change so much. So very important is giving spiritual knowledge to children is very, very important in materialism. So which is very much lacking in Chennai as far as the schools are concerned. So this is a very pathetic situation in Chennai where everything is highly materialistic by nature. Here it says at Durvasana, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited the temple of Lord Ramachandra. On this hill known as Mahendra Saila, he saw Lord Parashurama. So this is Durvasana or Dharmasena, known as Tirupulani. So even we say, if you go to Tirupulani, you'll be able to see that particular Dharmasena Perumal, where he is sleeping on the Kusha grass. He fasted for 3 days with Sita Devi to fulfill his vows, they say. So that is why this temple is very famous, 7 miles east of Ramnad, and there is a temple for Ramachandra. This hill is known as Mahendra Shaila, is near Tirunelveli, and at the end of this hill is a tiny city known as Tiruchendur, where Mahendra Shaila is the territory of Tribangura, and this is mentioned in Mahendra Shaila in the Ramayana. So so Mahaprabhu visited this Dharmasena Perumal, or who slept on the Kusha grass to fulfill his austerity, So it is. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then went to the Chetubandha, Rameshwara, when he took his bath at the place called Dhanush Tirtha. From there, he visited Rameshwara temple, then he took rest. The path from Mandapam through the ocean of island known as the Pamban consists partly of sand and partly of water. If you go to Rameshwaram, and there is a Pamban bridge. Even today, the so-called express trains travel very slowly in that bridge. There is a bridge constructed many years back. Now they are constructing a new bridge. I think it will be almost ready this year. So because of the accident in 1950s, where the train was washed away, and nearly 1,500 people are killed in that particular sea eruption. So now they rebuild the railway track, and because of it is constructed on the sea, because the technology was not very much advanced at the time. So but the beautiful place is that even today you can see that. This island of Pamban is about 17 miles long and 6 miles wide. On this island, 4 miles north of Pamban Harbor is Setubandha, where the temple of Rameshwara is located. So Setubandha, there is so much dispute going on between the government and the atheistic people. DMK wanted to construct some shipyard or something, but BJP government objected to it, and so they put on hold. When they want to keep up the evidence of Setubandha, when Rama constructed the bridge across Sri Lanka and Rameshwara. So even today, you could see the remnants of the bridge, even through satellite images. They proved. So because the so-called materialistic people, they want to keep this thing evidence away from the theistic people. So they said, no, this is something else. But now it is confirmed that the bridge across this area is Rameshwaram, and Sri Lanka was constructed at the time by Lord Rama. So this is to prove that Ramayana exists. Ultimately, what they want to prove, Ramayana doesn't exist. We want to prove Ramayana exists through this particular Setubandha. So that's why it is very important that it's still existing. On this island, 4 miles north, Pamban Harbor, is Setubandha, where the temple of Rameswara is located. This temple is of Lord Shiva. The name of Rameshwara indicates that he is a great personality who is worshipable deity of Lord Rama. Thus, Lord Shiva found in temple of Rameshwara as great devotee of Lord Ramachandra. It is said, Devi Patnam Arbhya Gachiyu Setubandhanam. After visiting the temple of Goddess Durga, one should go to the temple of Rameshwara. So when you are in the material world, when certain of the things are always followed. Like if you go to Guruvayur, there is a temple of Lord Shiva called Mamiyur. So somebody said that you have to visit this temple before visiting Guruvayurappa. You know, so this is something, I don't know whether it is man-made or it is existing in the Shastras. So likewise here it says that you have to visit Durga Devi to visit Rameshwara temple. In this area there are 24 different holy places, one of which is Dhanush Tirtha, located about 12 miles southwest of Rameshwara. So there are 24 wells there. If you go to Rameshwara, some of you must have experienced. So even if you have chronic cold, because they will take a bucket of water and pour it on your head, cold water, you know, there will be a line of people queuing up to take the bath. So, you know, if you take the 24th, normally if you take a bath in an ordinary well 24 times, you will become sick. But here, because of the sanctity of the Tirtha, you will never feel the negativity of this Tirtha. So it has got so much, they say, medicinal values, so I don't know about it. But at least, you know, you don't feel in the negative way if you take the bath in the Tirthas. Yes, sir, it is near the last station of South Indian Railway, a station called Ramnath. It is said that here on the request of Ravana's younger brother Vibhishana, Lord Ramachandra destroyed the bridge of Lanka with a bow while returning to his capital. This is said in Valmiki Ramayana. After returning to Rameshwara, he has destroyed the bridge between Sri Lanka and Rameshwara. It is also said that one who visits the Dhanush Tirtha is liberated from the cycle of birth and death, and that one bathes there gets all the fruitive results of performing yajna known as Agnishtoma. Agnishtoma means it is I don't know whether all these things are today they are conducting all these things, because if you go to Kasi, if you go to Rameshwara, you go to Kasi also. From there, take a mud and bring it to Rameshwara and make a small this one of Lord Shiva link house, and then we should take bath and complete those rituals. But I have not done any of those things. I went with Prakash Pole Prabhu, but I am yet to visit Kasi. But this is the firm belief which all the people in that area are claiming about. So we got to be very careful in India when you go on a Tirtha and all. Will be exploited anything. So we have to really be careful before you have to check with the authority of ISKCON before you visit all these holy places, so that you will not be taken for a ride. So this is very important that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited this particular area after on his pilgrimage. So we will finish up with this particular slogan. There among the Brahmanas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu listened to Kurma Purana, wherein mentioned that the chaste woman's narration. Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura remarks that only 2 kandas of Kurma Purana are now available, namely the Purvaganta and Uttaraganta. Sometimes it is said that Kurma Purana contains 6,000 verses, but according to Srimad Bhagavatam, the original Kurma Purana contains 17,000 verses. It is considered the 5th of the 18 Mahapuranas. So 6 in the Sattvic, 6 in the Rajasic, 6 in the Tamasic Puranas are there, Mahapuranas are there. So out of the 17,000 verses from Kurma Purana, we have 6,000 verses in the still existing. So much knowledge to be explored, and we got limited time, and we have to do our daily routine. Apart from that, engage ourselves in preaching with so much commitment to people, especially Grahasthas. It's a tough time ahead of all of you people. So most important is doing the chanting of 16 rounds after initiation and following the 4 regulative principles is very important. When you visit India, like, having someone devotee visited from Qatar, we couldn't arrange because we couldn't arrange proper prasadam for him. So ultimately, end up taking hotel food because the train was leaving at the time from his native. It was a very unfortunate thing because Qatar I got a facility, and whenever you travel to India, Madhya will give me food parcel to be honored in the plane. All those things are there. If there's a transit, they will have extra prasadam. But here in India, there are although many so many eataways are there, eateries are there. The problem is the train is late. You will not be delivered your proper lunch or dinner or this one. So with so much shortcomings are there. The food habits are very difficult to maintain in India, but you have to maintain to the extent possible. That's what Guru Maharaj used to say. Wherever possible, try to follow the 4 regulative principles, and of course, chanting 16 rounds is compulsory. With I think that the President of Chaitanya Caritamrta is really enlivening. Well, now from 3 devotees, we have got 8 devotees listening to on a daily, Friday basis. On a weekly basis, they listen to Caitanya Caritamrta. This now we are also in Madhya. So listening to different Prabhus, through them, we also get the knowledge of. It is highly purifying, like Srimad Bhagavatam, like Chaitanya Caritamrta is also purifying the devotees to the greatest extent. So some or other, I always tell request people, whether you like it or not, attend the Chaitanya Caritamrta class. I got the inspiration from Ramananda Kanaya Prabhu 2 years back. So by the mercy of Krishna and Guru, we are able to continue for the past 2 years on a regular basis. We never had a break so far. So with that, so much hurdles in our spiritual path, so we are trying to march forward because of the guidance of our Shiksha Gurus and Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Any questions you want to ask? I think I've taken 10 minutes extra from your time mentioned here in the message. I'm really sorry. If you have a question, you can ask. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your enlightened session. Please forgive me for my bad throat. I'm not able to.
Sound is very low, I think. I don't know.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam. Prabhu, his throat is very bad. He is not able to speak.
I know. Let somebody else speak for him, Prabhu.
So I'm trying to speak.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Actually, what Prabhu has conveyed, one important message about giving the education to children right age, very important.
Right. So he is re-emphasizing the point you made, Prabhu, of giving education, spiritual education to the children, and it must be done at a very young age, and then it's not easy after they grow up. Yeah. So that is the message he is re-emphasizing.
And also we carried this message, and when we started KKC in Krishna Pradesh,
Right.
and also in Madhya Pradesh, we emphasize the point that not only giving Krishna, but also we have to make them strong to carry Krishna throughout their life. So we have to build up their character. Otherwise, we give Krishna. Giving Krishna is easy. Giving Krishna is easy, but we have to make them strong enough to carry Krishna throughout their life. So that is very important for the important responsibility for those who are taking care of children. For to give Krishna, there's so many people will be ready, but we have to make sure that they are strong enough. We need to ensure that they because the character build-up comes only from the 4 regulative principles and all what we are following. But at that age, they are exposed to so much of Maya, teenage children. So it is very important for the teachers also to ensure that not only giving Krishna, but to create the environment to strengthen them so that they carry Krishna throughout their life. When they expose to Maya, once they enter into the material world, the colleges and universities, So they get distracted. Easily they get distracted. So we should make them strong enough to so that they carry Krishna throughout their life, not only giving Krishna, but also. So this is a very important point we understood, learned through our Shiksha Gurus, Prabhuji. When we implemented this KKC and in Krishnagata Desh and also in Madhya Desh. So it's very, very important point you conveyed today, Prabhu. Thank you so much for giving the importance of guiding children right from young age. So it's very, very important. And devotees, we have any questions or comments? Prabhu is here, can take advantage of Prabhu's mercy. So please unmute your mics and speak. So, Prabhuji, it looks like there are no questions. People are very happy with.
Thanks, Prabhu. Actually, Prabhu, in 15 years' time now, almost in India, 2008 to 23, 24, I have not seen even my cousins' children. I have not seen not even one. My cousins come to India. They are all practicing Vaishnavasana. But I got 30, 40 cousins in USA. But because they say that because of the culture in Western countries, especially America and Europe, all those countries, they are not able to imbibe the thing there because children start questioning at the age of 5 there, why to follow all these things, all these deities are not right. They put a lot of negative arguments because these people, although they got, some of them are quite educated in Ramayana and Mahabharata, they are not able to convince them and they feel that India is a very dirty place, They don't look at India as a spiritual place. They think on a material platform. So that's why I always request people, when you send the children, maybe that child may be practicing Krishna consciousness person in Qatar, but once he migrates to some other European countries or the Western countries or America, the majority of the people there are atheistic by nature. First, that itself is a great dangerous situation. On top of that, all our cultures sound good because we are in the society in this society in India where the culture is spiritualism. But if you go to USA, I don't think many of those people practice any of this. Many of the churches are empty. Temples, the ISKCON people, I mean, the grown-up people visit India, ISKCON temple. That is I understand. But generally speaking, either Middle East or India is a very ideal place for continuing spiritualism. At least here, some of the children are coming back to take up to Krishna consciousness. But Europe and other countries, it is a very difficult scenario. So think twice before sending children to overseas because there is no guarantee that their children will follow. These people may follow, but their children will follow or not, it's a big question mark. So just try to, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Very, very
Thanks,
practical
Prabhuji.
points you shared, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Slightly different experience as well. So while what you said is generally very true, currently I live in Houston, Prabhu, in USA. And in the temple, the children and the youth are so nicely engaged in Houston temple. About a month ago, they organized Kirtan Mela. Entire 3-day program was managed and organized by children. So it is simply amazing. Yeah. So I think probably it has got to do with parents, what opportunities they give to their children. Unfortunately, my children are not like that, but there I have seen, from very young children to people in their 30s as well. They all come together to organize big events. Any big program, the kirtan and aarti and all that, all the children are leading. So there are variations as well.
That is good news, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Thanks, Prabhu.
Very Prabhu. See, as I'm listening, Prabhu, since in Krishnagata Desh, we had under your guidance, we all conducted these KSC classes for the children. We've seen wonderful formations and happened. We have many kirtanas and madhuvantis who all got trained in Krishna Katha Desh. They went back to India and they continued the preaching. So the
Yeah.
children of yesterday, today, they are wonderful preachers. So your point is very, very valid. That we have to make sure that we give Krishna to children and also make them to strong enough to carry the Krishna throughout their life so that they can give Krishna to somebody else.
Yeah, that's good.
Very, very nice, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Thanks, Prabhuji. Chaitanya Charitamrta Granth ki jai. Middle East devotees ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thanks, Prabhu.